In this video, I'm going to share with you how to take your pain and turn it into purpose. In 2013, I lost my mom to cancer 3 months before my son was born. And the very next day, I remember waking up and just having this massive spiritual awakening. And it made me realize, all these things I've been using alcohol for the last 15 years to drown out all this unhealed childhood trauma I was carrying around with me. And then the loss of my mom in itself made me feel like I had a hole in my chest where my heart was supposed to be. And so I instantly told myself that this was the state I was going to be in for the rest of my life because I felt that healing was impossible. I felt like I was, stuck with the lemons life had given me, and making lemonade with them was not an option. And I lost purpose. I lost passion for life. There was times when someone could have presented me with $20 million in cash. It wouldn't have done anything. They could have drove a brand new Lamborghini into my garage, gave me the keys, and it wouldn't have done anything. There was times where I was so depressed that it would literally take me over an hour just to muster up the energy to get out of the chair. And during this time, the only time I would ever find myself feeling some kind of joy was when I could help others. The more I started to heal, the more I started thinking about what it felt like to be in that state and how other people were like that. And I thought, what greater gift is there than helping someone get out of that same depressed, fucking brutal state that I was in, in 2014. I got to a point where I tried to exit this reality because I just couldn't handle it anymore. And that's when Archangel Michael appeared. So I went on this massive healing journey. And the more I healed, the more I felt like I was able to help people. But I was so introverted and not wanting to stick my head out there that, I didn't share my message. And then people around me that were a complete surprise started to, exit, and it caught me off guard, and I realized that I had to share my message because you truly never know who's thinking what. People can smile to your face, tell you everything's good, and then the next day they're not here, right? So I started sharing my message on social media, and to say it was horrifying at first would be an understatement. I ended up deleting the first 2 years of content that I put out on YouTube because I was just so frustrated. I felt like I was being forced against my free will to share my message. I remember getting angry at my guides, like, why the fuck am I being guided to do this? I couldn't speak in front of the camera at all. It was very hard putting myself out there on social media, but the more I did, the more comfortable I got with it, the more I started receiving messages like, people saying, thank you for sharing your message. You've helped me get out of a hard place. And when I think about that as a reward, it's like, it's an amazing feeling. So try to find purpose from the pain that you've been through. Another thing that I did was I started an unofficial, little side charity where, I started selling t-shirts. In the beginning, I don't anymore, but started selling t-shirts that said F cancer for $20, and eventually, was able to raise a check for $5,000. And what I do, since I lost my mom to cancer so close to when my son was born, I donate checks for $5,000 to families that have a child with cancer and could use some financial aid. And so I took that devastation of losing my mom to cancer, and I found a way to help other people. I found a way to honor my mom. And it also brings me a lot of, it brings me pleasure knowing that I'm able to help out people that are going through that hard time in their life. So try to find purpose from your pain. If you've been through some funky shit that's got you super depressed, imagine a future you that's healed, that's much healthier than you are now, and you're helping people that were in the same spot as you get out of that. It's that feeling of knowing that you saved people from where you used to be that is something that can help you find purpose from your pain. Just hit over 63,000 followers on TikTok. Thank you so much for the support. It's greatly appreciated. Would love to see you over at YouTube at Saved by an Angel, Instagram at AshSam888. That's all I got. Smash that like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.